Here's a fun piece right here. This is Power Slammer's Master Mold. This is from the X-Men Secret Weapon Force. I want to show you this. So this is the Master Mold. Doesn't get too much screen time nowadays, but walking around, spitting out new Sentinels. This is a pretty cool figure right here. I'm going to show you the size marker first of all. Wouldn't it be great to see this in Build-A-Figure form? I will show you this way as well, so you get an idea of the size of this. He comes with his tentacles there, as you can see all along. Maybe you can't see with the lights, but we'll show him right there. Big, thick figure. He's big on this card. There's a nice, thick, chunky card. With that, a lot of times the card really gets damaged. This has a little bit of crush wear and a slight dent that's led to a little crack right there, but overall really good dent right there. And you can see on the back exactly what happens. So you pound him down and he shoots out a little Sentinel. So pretty neat right there. These are hard to find, the Secret Weapon Force. You don't run across this too often, so we're glad to be able to make this available to you right now in any condition. But I want to show you that it is a pretty nice condition. So it's got some tape on it here. Let me see if that's ever been opened. I don't think that it has. Just somebody doing some repair. No, because you don't see it up in here. Yeah, this bubble is just, it's too tight. So I'm not sure why it's been taped there. I don't know if that's manufacturer. It might be. But it might have been something else later on. It might have been starting to come loose a little bit right there. But let's check it out. Let you see it. Wouldn't see these in the photos in the catalog, so I want you to be able to see them in this condition report, as well as the condition of everything else. Otherwise, pretty nice. Got that the hang tag, the J tag right there is starting to come loose. Fortunately, a little bit of bang ups on the corners as you'd expect, and of course we mentioned that bubble earlier. But the bubble itself, I do want to point out. Here's my hand. A little bit cloudy, slightly, but really clear all the way through. You don't see a lot of yellowing. This is from 1998, so for a quarter of a century, to have almost no yellowing at all is pretty fantastic. Overall, just a really nice piece. You slam it down, he shoots the thing out, and you're ready to start on over again. This is a really cool rarity that we just don't see too often. So, like I said, in any condition, much less in as nice a condition as this appears. So head on over to TheBigToyAuction.com, leave your pre-bids on this right now. Join us at the live event to really defend this and make sure you can get this into your collection. You kick yourself if you. This is the Secret Weapon Force Power Slammers Master Mold from Toybiz. All right, true believers, this is from X-Men X-Force. This is the Blob, produced by Toybiz. He's pretty neat in that he's got, you can't really feel it all that well, but this rubber blubber belly. Just fun to say, rubber blubber belly. So he's got a hard rubber belly. He comes with some food as his weapon, which is fantastic. Of course, for no clear reason, a picture of Cable on the packaging. So let's check him out. That's a little bit different of a style than you'd see in a lot of figures. And am I seeing that right? Is that the wrong hand? I believe he has right hand. Trying to rotate it in my mind. Yes, I believe I might have two right hands on him, so be aware of that. Some of you, that's a cool error. For others who want to take it out, that might be a detriment. Got a giant butt right there. And of course, when that happens, that makes the bubble much bigger, much thicker. Not yellowed, as you can see. A little bit cloudy after a quarter of a century, but that's expected. But what happens with these, because it's so large, these tend to come loose off the card as they tear and under the weight. themselves, or they get smashed, and you don't see any of that on there. Pretty impressive. Bubble is tight on the card, really free from damage. I'm feeling a little bit right here at these two spots on it, some wear. Might have gotten a little bit of denting over the, and a little bit of maybe a slight crush. Can't tell if that's manufactured or if that's slight crush right there. I'll show it to you. You know why we do these live video condition reports. That way, if there's any possible interpretation, well, you get to interpret for yourself rather than me take a guess and tell you. It does come with that card. You know what these cards are doing. The flares, these flare cards lately have just been through the roof. People have been really going nutso over these. So here you get an extra one. That's of Rogue by like artist is. Just can't tell from here. Can't see the feet, so it's probably Liefeld. This is, yeah, and there you go. So he's got pose the blob with food accessories in his hand and poke his belly to feel his blubbering butt. What a fun, get that in there. What a fun action feature that is. Don't see that on a lot of action figures anymore. I'm going to show you the way the light shines off the back of this. So you can get a feel for the action of the card. My thumb is hiding part of it, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to hide anything from it. So you can see both of the corners are a little bit bent. There. We'll see it again on the front of it there. The rest of the card looks pretty good, and I don't know if I showed you the size of him. Check him out. The big guy right there. Smaller than the Marvel Legends versions of these tend to be. Just check out the size of those feet alone. Pretty neat piece right there. I'm surprised it stands up under its own weight, but it does. And overall, pretty decent condition for a really hard to find figure. You just don't see the blob anywhere anymore. Overall, pretty cool. So head on over to TheBigToyAuction.com where you can see this and all of our other items we've got coming up in our next live auction event. You can bid on this right now with your pre-bids, or you can come back and join us live at the auction event. Either way, you're going to get this piece into your collection, the Blob from X-Men X-Force Toybiz. Check this out, folks. This is the X-Men Robot Fighters version of Jubilee. There she is with what appears to be a sentinel hand. That's pretty fun. It has a little tentacle that comes out and grabs. It's pretty neat. I'm going to bring her right up to the camera so you can see her and the action feature there. That sentinel hand's got all 5 digits. And there's Jubilee right there. You can see her being grabbed by that hand. I'm going to bring it back a little bit so you can see that artwork. And along with that, we'll see the way the light shines both off the bubble card. We'll flip it over for the same effect. And this is going to give you an idea of the conditions. See a little bit of waviness. Slight crease, not creasing, but bending here. More so here than there. A little bit of delamination, but nothing to write about. So overall, your typical shelf wear. This bubble is nice and tight. Feel a little bit of a dent right here at this corner. That's about it, and not even really a dent. Roughness right there at that corner. Otherwise tight, and you can see straight through to my hand beneath. So you get an idea for any amount of yellowing, which does not appear to be all. After a quarter of a century, hard to imagine. So there it is. This is the X-Men Robot Fighters version of Jubilee from Toybiz. On the block next, we have this pretty cool figure right here. I don't know. It's interesting to me. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's interesting. We're going to show you the size marker on this. This is Professor Xavier. See him this way. Well, this is part of their mutant armor series. Well, Professor X isn't really one for wearing armor. No real need of it. So what do? They have this astral projection armor. some kind of astral projection plane. It's with him and Mamu and Doctor Strange and the rest. Now, if you'll notice, he is super, super jacked. So it's the regular Professor X head, but in that translucent red color. And check out those legs, those thighs on that dude. For a dude who does not walk, clearly not missing leg day. Not sure what character. Does anybody know what buck they use for this? What figure they use to just slap his head on? I don't know that Professor X is getting to the gym quite as often as that physique tell us. Nevertheless, he's got this armor, all of this armor right here, including build. While we're here, I'll show you the front of the card. Pretty good. Not a lot of dings, dents, scratches, scrapes, etc. You can see that Flare card. Belladonna. You don't see her too very often. That collector's card that they got on there, that's pretty neat. We'll flip it over. We'll see some of the same. You know, with those collector's cards just by themselves lately are doing gangbusters. Really clamoring for those, and they should. There was a lot of neat art in those. I think they got kind of a raw deal. See some corner bend on this, but otherwise the way the light shines on it is really nice. And then finally a little bit of a map where everything goes on here. A lot of these pieces had from 96, yeah, from 96 Toybiz. A lot of the pieces from Toybiz back then had various action gimmicks, action features to them. This one has the armor. That is what they instead, the value add with all these pieces. You don't like them on him, you can use them on some of the other pieces. Weight fodder for customs, etc. And of course, it does have that spring-loaded action feature, which doesn't seem to be pointed out on the back there, but you can see he's got the spring right in his arm. He's got this thing to shoot on out. So head on over to TheBigToyAuction.com. You can see this, all the other great pieces we've got for you in this upcoming live event. You can leave your pre-bid right now on this piece and walk away and hope for the best, but we encourage you to come back, live auction close, and defend your bids. That's the best way to ensure that this piece and all the others get into your collection, sit on your shelf, and look. Mutant Armor Series Professor Xavier sounded weird. Professor Xavier and his astral plane armor. Get it in your collection.